Hi, everyone, and welcome to Unsupervised Consequences. I'm your host, Tino the Genetic Marvel, and I am discussing how I went from over 450 pounds down to 290 pounds and how I'm continuing that fight despite everything that happens in the universe, which apparently is on fire. Welcome. Today we're talking about pacing, something I've always had an issue with, not only physically, but there's the mentality of it. I suffer from something that a lot of people do. I remember the best way to describe it is paralysis by analysis. I like to ponder. I like to uh, um, kind of rummage over things, just really scrape through them myself. That causes a huge delay, and nobody likes being delayed, myself included. It's a weird dichotomy of wanting to do things immediately and fast, but at the same time wanting to be comfortable and structure them through your mind. So something that I am doing my best to learn and work through. Like this past week, I fasted for 73 hours, which is status quo, no problem for me. It's I have worked up to that skill set and that skill level where I'm comfortable with things, but I'm finding that I need to start adjusting and stuff because my body's kind of comfortable where I am at, and that's not where I want to be. So there's more that I have to do. So with that, one of the things like today, I am putting together some long format videos of the barbecuing stuff that I've been doing, which has been very enjoyable. Today I did a rib roast. It wasn't is my first time doing a prime rib roast, and it worked out pretty good. I definitely gnawed on the bone, and it was absolutely delicious. But the working through that and that kind of being in a situation where you can't really do anything, you should just sit here and wait. Is beneficial. Also, it being Saturday, when at the time of this went live, it was some one of those things where a new experience had me kind of a little not agitated, but a lot of excitement for the day. We ended up finishing quite fast, so beef cooks quite quickly and everything, so it worked out quite well. Uh, the primer was delicious. That's testimonial. That counts, everyone. So, with that being said, um, working through the idea of taking one step at a time is weird. It's not something that people are comfortable with using in a broad format or across different circumstances, right? A lot of the times we'll be patient for in dealing with certain people, or I know yesterday I did some live comedy. I did okay at best. I tried some new stuff that did not work, but it helped me work through it. So the idea behind that was that pacing with how you converse with people is a huge thing. So, what about pacing when it comes to our physical existence and our mental processes? So, the back and forth that we go through on a daily basis is it opens us up to a lot of possibilities. It gives us the chance, and we see with people in general, we can get very excited and very feel kind of on top of the world. Especially, I'll tell you, when you perform in front of people and they start laughing or applauding, it feels fantastic. There's nothing comparable, uh, to be totally honest. And knowing full well um, that that's only a short part of the process, it makes it hard, right? And then you want to just keep on going. You want, oh, I want to keep on. That's not the best way. Um, at the same time, for myself, I know that I have a hard time getting things going because I want to kind of think through all the nooks and crannies of subjects. That's also not helpful, and that's something that I battle with on a daily basis and multiple times a day, right? Depending on what I'm doing. If I'm not completely comfortable with something, um, I'm very hesitant. I have a lot of questions and a pain in my wife's ass. That's for sure, right? So that being said, one of the things that I use to gauge that is kind of by setting out my tasks first thing in the day. Yesterday we talked about planning, how if you don't put a plan together, you don't like today's Saturday. I had planned because I did comedy yesterday and I knew it was at a cannabis lounge. I'm like, oh, well, that's going to have a great aspect. Went out. Both yesterday and today, I've not been good with regards to my window of eating just because it was a little bit celebratory. And both times it was closer to like an 8 hour window, which is not really even remotely where I normally eat. I normally eat within like a one meal a day or within 4 hours kind of thing. So both of them were. I'm a little disappointed in myself with regards to them because the one thing was that I didn't eat badly necessarily. I didn't eat great, but I didn't really uh, do poorly. I just ate for too long of a period of time. So that being said, how can I do better in the future? Right. One of the keys to that is being able to analyze what we've done, where we fell, and see how we can push that forward. If we don't learn that skill, which I'm in it right now, I'm still definitely in that arrive syndrome, trying to get things started, and I'm finding that while the fasting portion of things is very easy to fall back into and be like, oh yeah, I'm not eating for the next 3 days, no problem, that's good, I'm a okay. It definitely became a little more. Something that you got to take your time with and something that I have to understand more. So that being said, is that the dietary restrictions that I put on and on myself for my own health and progress, I'm finding that I'm becoming a little more lackadaisical with. So when trying to function through these goals, I need to balance between the times that I'm not eating and then the times that I am eating to iron out that system. One of the key components with that is that patience that I'm going to need going forward. Because remember, the ultimate goal is not to be like, oh, well, I don't eat half the week, and that's just how I live my life. Hey, what's happening, Walkie Talkie Janine? Thanks for coming out. So that being the case is one of those situations where I'm definitely trying to um, take my time to balance those things, and I'm finding like with regards even supplementing working out on the basis of my physical activity and doing everything is that it gets harder and harder to keep up with because of how uh, life in general is structured, right? You have those positive highs of achieving and persevering and look what I've done and it's so amazing. And like I've banked on the idea that uh, I said it's probably going to take me 2 weeks to really stabilize and give me that get back to where I was. So I've achieved the weight. Yesterday was 288, which is a pound and almost a pound and a half less than my goal. But I can definitely tell you that that was during fasting. So now it's like, okay, so now I'm focusing on the other side because that up and down is an opportunity for me to stabilize myself. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to pacing, especially with regards to uh, presenting this kind of stuff. It's the same idea, is that understanding how things work gives us the idea to register the process in each little part, right? And that's key right now, is balancing those two things because, oh man, every time, even today, like today I had beef. It was a primary roast, and it was great. But at the same time, I have my concerns with that too. Maybe I should be staying away from those kind of meats and go towards uh, more uh, meats that are easier on my digestion. So all that comes into play. Right down to one of the things that I've been joking about was the idea of chewing. You're supposed to chew every bite 32 times. That is a nightmare. I'll tell you that right now. And I have learned that that means that all cakes are drinks. And that is something that you can take to heart because it's ridiculous. But understanding that process is kind of a stabilizer for everything you consume. So having a better understanding of that and pacing, how it's important not just with communication or with physical activity, but it's, it's super important too. You're absolutely right. My wife and I will literally keep on reminding each other, "Hey, remember to chew," while we proceed to shovel food in our mouth and not chew it. So, that being said, that's really the message for today: is pacing. The key component to pushing through this is reaching that balance, not just when it comes to the physical or anything else, but in every facet, right? That pacing will allow us to maintain and also persevere through the situations and trusting the process and what works for us. So that's the message for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you feel it was beneficial, please feel free to subscribe or pass it on to somebody who might enjoy it. I have a further series that I'm going to keep on talking about my process and getting down in weight and how it's changing everything. So that being said, have an enjoyable rest of your day, and I will as well.